Thank you so much for joining us today. Today we have a special guest on. We have Sue Bird from Long Insurance. She's an insurance expert with, I'm not going to say how many years, but many years of experience in the industry.
It's okay. I have 20 years.
Okay, 20 years experience. Thank you so much for joining us today, Sue. And you're going to help educate our first-time home buyers on their home insurance.
Let's get going.
Okay.
So what first-time home buyers need to know about really is that not only do you have a credit score to help you buy your home, but you've got an insurance score to determine the rates you're going to get for your insurance policies, meaning auto and home. And to get a better insurance score, it's going to look loosely at your credit, but also at the kind of coverage or the level of coverage you've carried. So if you carry state minimum liability, you're not doing yourself any favors with that. What you want to do is you want to carry as high a coverage as you can afford, because truly a home buyer needs to have their auto limits on their auto policy for the bodily injury at 100,000 per person, 300,000 per occurrence. And the reason that's important on another level is because, of course, if you're a homeowner, you've got an asset to protect. And if you should have an at-fault accident and not have enough coverage, they can put a lien on your home.
Oh, wow.
So that's very important. But also by carrying that 100,000 per person, 300,000 per occurrence, you're giving yourself a higher insurance score, and that helps you then get the better rates on your policies.
Yeah.
And there are some companies that don't even want to take somebody if they've carried state minimum limits and not had higher limits, at least a step above the state minimum. So the other thing that affects it is how many claims you've had. If you've had it like a lot of small piddly claims, like you got your vehicle towed 5 times, you've had 3 glass repairs, you've had an accident, all these things that can affect your insurance score too. You really want to keep insurance for the big problems that happen. Sure, if you've got glass coverage, go ahead and get your chip or crack repaired, but try not to go through lots of windshields a lot. If you can fix it, don't replace it. Also, changing insurance companies can affect your rates. If you change companies all the time, then other insurance companies look at you and they say, wow, this customer's had their current company for only a year, and before that they were with the one for only 2 years, and they're going to bounce around. So do we want them as a client?
Right.
Probably not.
Yeah.
So and it hurts your insurance score to change around like that. Loyalty is the way to be with your insurance company. So you want to find somebody that gives you good rates, gives you good service, and stick with them. So that's important. The other thing that helps people get good rates is to get their quotes in advance, at least 2 weeks in advance.
What do you mean?
So,
get their quote?
So let's say you're closing on your house on February 1st. You want to get that quote like before the middle of January to make sure that you get that quote in there. Get it in there within that 2-week period. So, and credit loosely does attach to your insurance score too, because that shows a responsibility level. And ultimately, that's really what insurance companies are looking for, responsibility level. Yeah, I was responsible and carried my limits high. I was responsible and took care of some of the tow claims myself, or what have you, or, that kind of thing. Or I didn't change companies just because ABC company made me mad. I went to XYZ within a week, or things like that. That, it's just showing that.
Yeah, interesting.
So those are the things that can help make sure that you're going to get the best rate on your homeowners. Always best to bundle your homeowners and your auto if you can. It can save you a lot of times a couple $100 a year to bundle them together.
Right. Right. Well, and there's some of these things, when we were talking before, you were mentioning how some of these things you want to look at doing 6 months or a year before you purchase your first home, right?
Yes.
You don't want to just walk into getting your first home insurance quote and have changed these things like a week ahead of time or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Interesting.
The other thing that people don't realize either is that the other piece about bundling
Yeah,
is that having your home with one company and your auto insurance somewhere else,
right.
when your renewal comes up and that insurance company that has one or the other of them, they're going to look at you more favorably if you have both lines of business with them.
Hmm.
And the reason is they may say, well, this has been a good customer. They've been with us for 4 years. They have home and auto with us. So we're going to put them in one pile as far as what their rate's going to be. But Jane Doe over here, all she has with us is her home
Right.
and have her auto. So her rates might go up a little bit more than the people over here.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Sure.
Well, and what about just going with the lowest rate you get for a quote for your home insurance? What are some of the
So,
pitfalls of that? Like, how do people get kind of taken advantage of and they don't realize?
well, that's a very slippery slope because if you just look at the bottom line price, you're not comparing apples to apples. You have to make sure that they have your replacement cost on the home where it needs to be.
Hmm.
Have to know that they have things covered like your backup of sewer and drain. Identity theft is something that we make sure you have coverage for because that's crazy right now.
Hmm.
I personally make sure my clients are covered for service line protection, which has been a gray area, or actually, I can't even say a gray area. It's been an area that there was no coverage in the past. So that covers from the street to the house. If you
Sure.
had a problem with that in the past, you better go have a friend with a backhoe to dig it up and get another plumber friend out to fix it because it's going to be costly. But now that's covered and it's really low costing, so I make sure my clients have that. And so there's a lot of different pieces to the pie than there used to be.
Right.
And it's important to make sure that your liability levels are where they need to be. Our company has the minimum I can sell for liability is 300,000.
Hmm.
But oftentimes I see other carriers that will write it for 100,000, and that's just clearly not enough.
Right.
Actually, I don't think I've even sold 300,000 to anybody lately because I write most all of my policies at 500,000 for the liability.
Yeah.
Oftentimes there's $5 a year difference between 300 and 500,000.
Wow.
So it doesn't make sense to lowball,
Right.
but there's carriers out there that will write just the minimum amount that they can.
Yeah.
But the worst thing that happens is if you have a claim and then you don't have the coverage or you don't have enough coverage to pay that claim,
Yeah.
then you didn't do your due diligence to get the best coverage. And so if you looked only at the price and you didn't look at what you were getting for the price, you
Right.
might have shot yourself in the foot. Insurance is a funny thing because it's not a tangible item.
Yeah.
A house is a tangible item. That's something to get excited about, but it's hard to get excited about insurance because you can't see it. A lot of people hate to pay insurance. No one likes to pay for insurance, but no
Yeah.
one wants to be without if something happens
Right.
and they need protection. So,
And is it required to purchase, just for the general consumer to know, is it required to have home insurance when you purchase a home? Or just when
your lender will require you to have homeowners insurance. Absolutely. You cannot close your loan without homeowners insurance. If you're buying with cash, that's great. But if you're not going to insure your home and then you have something happen, you're going to have to pay for all of those repairs out of pocket.
Yeah.
If something catastrophic happened to your house, you could lose it all and then you've just
Yeah.
basically thrown your money out the window.
Yeah, I
You
know.
never want to have a lapse of insurance either, ever, 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 especially on auto insurance.
Yeah.
Um, that's a real negative thing to have happen.
Yeah.
And again, it's a responsibility thing. You're an adult now, you got to be responsible. Sorry.
Right. It's time to, they're adulting now.
Yeah, this is adulting 101.
That's what we could label the video, market the video as. I put it out. Adulting 101, insurance.
For home buyers.
No, that's good. Well, can people look up their insurance score, like a credit score? Like, how do you know?
Really, in fact, I only have really one company that like gives me an actual number
Yeah.
of their insurance score. The others have like levels,
Yeah.
and I've never quite understood this one that has these levels. I've never quite understood the levels, but typically when I'm looking at quotes that I've run through my rater, I have a rating system
Oh, yeah.
program that I put all the customers' information in, and it kind of kicks back all the carriers what they're going to offer. I can pretty much see right off the bat whose score is a little bit on the low side, because their rates are higher.
Yeah.
And then what I do too that I don't know, where I used to work before, which we won't mention any names, but I will look at if it's a couple buying a home, say
Yeah.
a husband and wife, I'll look and see who has the best insurance score and put them first. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. But where I worked before I came to Long Insurance, you would get fired if you did that.
Huh.
So,
Interesting.
but the carriers, insurance companies that we have, they encourage us to do that because they want the customer to get the best rate that we can get them.
Oh, I get it.
So yeah, so if Jane has a better insurance score than John does,
Yeah.
then Jane's going to go first. And the oddity of that is that women typically do have better insurance scores than men.
That's funny.
I know. I haven't ever figured that out, but it's okay. I don't have to know why.
Go ladies, right?
Yay! Power to the women.
Women power.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, no, this is all so helpful because I think for a lot of first-time home buyers, things like picking out the house, the price, the mortgage payment every month, assessing the condition of the home during inspections, that all takes the lead. And then insurance is kind of like an afterthought you have to get real quick before you close lots of times. People don't give it the just due. It really is very important because once you bought that home and you own it, all the other things don't really matter that you just went through. But now you're stuck with this insurance for the next however long you live there, and will it be enough to take care of this asset you just worked so hard to get? Yeah.
Right.
This is all really great information for first-time home buyers. I so appreciate you taking the time to talk to the general public, and we're going to have your contact info in the comments. If folks are on a mobile device, you just click on the title of the video. It'll open up comments. If you're on a computer, you can just scroll down and it'll have how to get in touch with Sue for more questions about their own insurance needs. So
Good deal.
great.
Happy to help.